In the heart of Lagos, there lived a happy couple named Tony and Lillian. Tony was a senior engineer with Chevron. Lillian was a successful fashion designer. They lived with their 2 children, Jane and Gabriel, in a quiet estate in Lekki. The kind of place where the lights never blinked, the gate always opened with a remote, and there was always someone to do the chores. Tony made sure the family lacked nothing. Every December, they traveled Maldives, Seychelles, Paris. Jane and Gabriel attended one of the best schools in Lagos. They always come home with certificates from spelling bees and science fairs. Their mother framed them all. Lillian's business was thriving. She had customers in Abuja, Ghana, London. Her Instagram was always full of new styles and orders kept coming in. Tony also helped. He talked about her at work, told his colleagues to patronize her. Lillian never begged for clients. Life was full and soft until the day the letter came. Tony had just finished a report when HR summoned him. The company was leaving Nigeria. Chevron was shutting down its local operations. The taxes were too high. The government was making it hard. They were cutting staff. Tony's name was on the list. He was told to pack up in 2 days. At first, he laughed like it was a joke, but as he walked to the door, reality hit him. All the years he gave to the company, all the plans he was making, all the comfort his family had, gone, just like that. He drove home quietly. His head was hot. His thoughts were louder than the traffic. A trailer swerved into his lane. Tony hit the brakes, but it was too late. The crash shattered the front of the car and threw him sideways. His left leg twisted badly. He woke up in a hospital bed. When Lillian came in and saw him on the bed, she dropped her bag and ran to him. Jesus! Hey, Jesus! Jesus, what happened? Tony, what happened? Tony turned his face away. Thank God, at least they said I'll be fine. But my leg, it's fractured. They said I'll limp for life. Lillian's mouth trembled, but she held back the tears. She paid the bills, took him home, and for the first time in years, she paid from her own pocket. That night, there was no music in the house. No generator humming, no smell of fried plantain, just silence. Tony lay on the couch with a bandage on his leg. He couldn't bring himself to look at Lillian. He tried to smile. I'm sorry. Lillian brought him a cup of tea. Don't say that. I promise you, we'll figure it out. This is just a season. Very soon we'll be back on our feet, baby. Okay, don't worry. But when she walked back to the kitchen, she didn't say anything else. And Tony saw it in her eyes. Something had shifted. Upstairs, Gabriel peeked into the room. Mom, is that okay? Yes, he'll be fine, she said. Jane stood behind him. She didn't say a word. She just turned and walked back into her room. Tony didn't sleep that night. He kept staring at the ceiling, thinking of the company benefit that would end in 2 days, thinking of the rent, the children's school fees, the trips, the lifestyle. He had no savings, no house in his name, no land. He always said he would invest, but he kept pushing it. Next year, he told himself. Now, even that was gone. 3 months had passed since Tony lost his job. The family had moved out of their beautiful house in Lekki and settled in a much smaller apartment in Ikeja. There was no estate gate, no generator that came on at night, and no steady water. The change was loud and clear. Jane and TJ no longer wore the sharp uniforms from their old school. Their new school was smaller and sometimes their classmates teased them. Lillian paid all the bills. She paid the school fees, she paid the rent, she paid for food, and she still managed to show up at her fashion studio with a smile on her face. But inside, she was tired. Tony's leg had healed, but he still walked with a limp. The doctor had warned him not to stress himself. And even though he wanted to try something, anything, the shame of being jobless kept him quiet. Each day, Tony waited for Lillian to return home before taking his medications or eating dinner. It made him feel weak, and that weakness made him avoid looking at himself in the mirror. One afternoon, while Lillian was adjusting a dress for a client, her phone rang. It was Madam Ngozi, her mentor. She stepped outside the studio and answered quickly. Hey, my daughter, Madam Ngozi said in a warm voice. How are you holding up? I have not seen you in our women's meeting. You just disappeared. Oh, my daughter. Lillian took a deep breath. Ma'am, it has not been easy. She poured her heart out. How Tony was no longer working, how she was carrying everything on her shoulders, how the children were adjusting, how she herself had no time to rest. Oh, don't worry, Madam Ngozi said calmly. You are stronger than this season. Just take it one step at a time. You won't lose Tony. Listen to me, my daughter. You won't lose Tony the way your mother lost your father. You hear me? I'll be praying for you. And the women at the meeting would also be praying for you. Lillian, listen to me. You have to be strong, okay? At least be strong for your children. Good night. God bless you. That line hit her heart. After the call ended, Lillian sat on the bench beside her shop. Her eyes went far. She remembered her childhood. Her mother had done everything, fed the house, paid the rent, and even borrowed money to keep them alive. Her father was quiet but ungrateful. And when things got better, he left just like that. Her mother died with a broken heart. Lillian shook her head. Hey, God forbid. She wasn't going to be a mother. That evening when she got home, Tony was seated on the couch with a blanket across his legs. Hi, Lillian. How was your day? He asked. It was fine, she said shortly. She walked past him and dropped a pill container beside a cup of water. I have asked a physiotherapist to come tomorrow, she added. He will help you with your leg so that you can walk better. Tony nodded. Thank you for everything. I know it has not been... you don't have to say anything. I'm just doing my job as your wife, okay? Please. She didn't look at him, not once. He stared at the cup of water, his shoulders dropped. He knew what that meant. It was disappointment written all over Lillian's face. It showed that he wasn't doing enough. A few days later, two of Lillian's regular customers stopped by her studio. They were loud and full of gossip. Hey, my sister, have you seen that viral story online? One of them said. What happened? The other asked. Sit down, let me tell you. My sister, sit down, let me tell you what happened. A woman took care of her husband for 4 years. 4 years. Paid everything. Then the moment he found small money, he ran away with a younger girl. May God punish that man. He left the woman with nothing. Took everything from her bank account. God forbid, the second one screamed. That kind of man, I will kill him before he leaves. Lillian laughed along with them, but her mind was elsewhere. Her hands stopped moving on the sewing machine. She thought of her father again. She thought of how her mother cried every night. And now she looked at her own life. A man with a limp, no job, sitting on her couch. Her hands started sewing again, but her mind wasn't in the room. Hey, if Tony thinks he would do me like that, she thought, tightening the fabric under her fingers. He has another thing coming. He better not try it. One day, it was almost midnight. The house was quiet, or so Tony thought. Then he heard giggles and the sounds of the television from upstairs. He reached for his walking stick and slowly made his way up. When he got to the living room, he saw Jane and Gabriel sitting on the floor, laughing and watching TV. Are you not supposed to be preparing for exams? He asked, his voice firm. What are you doing awake at this time? The children froze. Jane held the remote tightly while Gabriel looked at the floor. Tony raised his voice, still holding his stick. Turn it off and go to bed now! Just then, Lillian came down the stairs, tying her rope. What is it? Tony, what is going on here? Kids, what is going on? She asked, rubbing her eyes. Tony turned to her. Can you imagine? They're supposed to be reading. Instead, they are here watching TV this late. Lillian sighed. Please, Tony, Is that why you're shouting? Please leave my children alone, she said flatly. Let them enjoy themselves. After all, am I not the one paying the DSTV subscription in this house? Tony looked at her stunned. Please stop shouting. It's almost midnight. Do you want the neighbors to start hearing us? Do you want them to report us to the landlord? Please, Tony, go to bed. Tony said nothing. He turned and walked slowly back to the room, his stick tapping the floor. His heart was heavy. A few days later, Lillian came home with new school supplies, bags, books, shoes. The children ran to her with smiles. Mommy, thank you. Thank you so much. My classmates have been laughing at my old bag. Mommy, thank you. Jane hugged her too. Thank you, Mom. May God bless you. May God continue to provide for you. Lillian smiled, but her words carried something else. My kids, what can I do? If I don't buy it, who else will? She said. I'm the one doing everything in this house. Your father, I wish he could help, but I'm not complaining. Kids, it's just me. Please, just try and bear with us. Tony heard from the kitchen. He didn't say a word, but he felt it. After that day, the children started behaving differently. Whenever they came back from school, they would wait until their mother returned before showing their result or achievement. Even when Tony tried to ask, they would say, Dad, we'll wait for our mom. Tony felt invincible. He called his old colleague, Emeka. Emeka, please, is there any opening anywhere? I just need to leave this house, he said quietly. Emeka paused. Tony, with your leg, are you sure you're strong enough for offshore work? I can try. I can't just sit here anymore. Tony replied, I understand. But most oil firms won't consider someone with health issues. Let me ask around. If I hear anything, I'll let you know. Tony ended the call and sighed. He felt stuck. After church one Sunday, Tony sat across from Lillian at the dining table. Lillian, I've been thinking, he said. There's a gap in offshore drilling that companies are struggling with. I want to write a proposal. It's something that can help oil firms save money and time. Lillian looked at him and chuckled. Proposal, she said. Which leg, Tony? That one that limps? Tony's face dropped. But I thought you would support me, he said softly. I'm not trying to discourage you, but let's be honest. You can't even climb a staircase without help. You want to go and talk about offshore drilling. Is the proposal for people with leg issues or what? Tony folded the paper in his hand and put it aside. Later that week, he sent out the proposal to a few oil companies anyway. But days passed, no reply, not even one. He gave up. One evening, Lillian made vegetable soup. She set the table and called everyone to eat. Jane looked at her plate and frowned. Mommy, I don't want this, please, she said. Me too, Mommy. Can we eat something else? Tony spoke up. Guys, you need your veggies. It will make you strong. But both children gave him a strange look, like it didn't matter. Lillian smiled at them. Okay, what do you want to eat, my darlings? Mom, okay, pizza and ice cream, they chorused. Tony shook his head. Lillian, both of us know that is not healthy. They should eat proper food. Let's train them to eat proper food and not waste money. She ignored him. Last I checked, I cooked the food, not you, Tony. So please, what's the problem? Then she picked up her phone and placed the order. Please let my children enjoy. Did I come to ask you for money? Did I beg you for anything? Please, just sit down and mind your business. Please. It's not a crime for them to eat pizza and ice cream, at least just once. If you cannot take them out to buy this pizza and ice cream or chicken, like other fathers do with their children, at least let me do this for my own children, okay? Later that night, Jane and Gabriel were laughing with their friends in the compound. Tony called them, but they didn't answer. One even muttered, this daddy is just shouting again. I don't know what he wants. Why can't he mind his business? After all, is it not mommy that is doing everything? What is it? Tony looked at the window watching. His children were slowly slipping away from him, and there was nothing he could do. One day, there was a knock at the door. The knock was loud. Tony sat up on the couch, startled. Jane and Gabriel rushed out of the bedroom. Daddy, who is that? Jane whispered. Tony picked up his walking stick and limped to the door. As he opened it, he saw Mr. Bayo, the landlord, standing with 2 hefty men behind him. "Where is my rent?" the landlord shouted. Tony tried to keep calm. "Sir, please, just give us a little time. Shut up! I've been hearing the same thing for 3 months. Do I look like your uncle? Is this a charity house?" Mr. Bayo yelled. "You people want to live here for free. You have 5 minutes to send the money into my account or I throw all of you out." He turned to the children and pointed. "You two, pack your bags." Jane and Gabriel held each other frightened. Tony begged again. "Please, sir, my wife will come soon." The landlord ignored him. He began calling out his account number loudly. "Okay, this is my account number if you want to pay. 211-653. "Sir, I'm not the one to pay." "Then why are you disturbing me? Please get out of the way. Guys, go. Carry everything out. Carry everything out." Please, Mr. Bayo, calm down. Please calm down. My wife will... See, if you don't leave this place, I will tell my men to beat you up. Move!" Within minutes, the TV, the chairs, the clothes, everything was outside. The sky was already turning dark. A cold breeze blew and it looked like rain. Tony tried calling Lillian, but her number wasn't going through. Again and again, nothing. The neighbors opened their curtains, but nobody came out to help. One by one, the windows shut. Some even turned off their lights. Then the rain started. Heavy. Jane screamed, "Daddy, the water is entering our bags." Gabriel tried covering his head with a plastic bag. Tony stretched his arm to cover them with a tiny bed sheet, but it was already soaked. Finally, Lillian's number rang true. Tony shouted into the phone, "Lillian, we have been thrown out. The landlord came with people, the children and I. We are in the rain." "What? What do you mean by that? Oh my goodness. What's..." Before Tony could finish, she hung up. She called the landlord, got the keys and went back to the house. She managed to pack everything back into the house. The house smelled like wet cement. Inside, she turned to Tony. "This is all your fault." Tony looked confused. "How? If you had a job, would we be humiliated like this? See what you've done to this family. You can't even protect your children from the rain." "But what was I supposed to do? There was no shed, no place. Everybody had locked their door. I don't know. I'm just tired of you. What kind of man are you? Your mates are buying houses. You're begging old colleagues for a job. What is your problem?" Tears filled Tony's eyes. Lillian wasn't done. "You trained them, didn't you? You gave them referrals. Now look at you. You can't even pay rent. What kind of bad luck are you carrying?" Tony clenched his jaw. "You know what, Lillian? I can't take this anymore and I'm not going to argue with you in front of these children." "Then leave," she said quietly. "If you can't take the heat, get out of the kitchen." There was silence. Tony picked up a small bag, stuffed in a few clothes and without looking back, walked out of the house, limping into the night rain. He called Emeka. "Emeka, please, I need a place to stay." Emeka didn't ask questions. "Don't worry. I'll pay for a guest house tonight and send you the address." Later that night, Tony lay on a small hotel bed. The light was dim. The ceiling fan hummed. He stared at the ceiling, then the tears came. He prayed in silence. "God, why me? I served you. I sowed seed. I gave to your work. I stayed faithful to my wife even when there were temptations. I raised my children with care. I gave you everything. Why is my life like this now?" His chest tightened. He wiped his face. He wanted to sleep, but sleep didn't come. So he just lay there, listening to the fan spin and wondering when or if life would ever change. 6 months after Tony left the house, everything changed. Lillian was in a fashion shop one morning when her phone rang. It was her doctor. His voice was serious. "Madam, please listen to me. I need to see you in my office today. It is urgent." Lillian's heart started to beat fast. She didn't waste time. She dropped everything and went straight to his office. As she entered, the doctor looked at her quietly and then said, "Lillian, I'm not going to beat around the bush. You have cancer and it is spreading fast. I've been trying to reach you, but you've been so busy with your job." Lillian sat there stunned. Her hands were shaking. Cancer, doctor, are you sure?" The doctor nodded. "See, you need to start chemotherapy right away. Time is not on our side." She nodded slowly, but her mind was far away. God, what about my children? How will I take care of them? What if something happens to them? She started a treatment, but she didn't tell the children. She didn't tell anyone, not even Tony. She was still paying school fees, still trying to act strong, but every night she cried in her room alone. That week, she called her mentor, Madam Ngozi. Madam Ngozi, I will not lie to you. I've been going through so much. Tony left months ago, and I don't even know where to start. I'm just tired. Lillian, that's the best thing you have done. You stood up for yourself. Your mother couldn't stand up for herself, but yet you did. That is commendable. There's no woman who would take what you took. My sister, move on. You're better off. Lillian smiled weakly. She didn't tell her about the cancer. She just said thank you and ended the call. But later that week, Lillian fainted at work. Her workers rushed her to the hospital. Meanwhile, in another part of town, Tony was slowly rebuilding. His friend Emeka had helped him go through his old engineering proposal. Tony, this idea is strong. You just wrote it in a way companies won't understand. Let me help you polish it. A week later, one big oil firm reached out. They said, Mr. Tony, my goodness, this is exactly the innovations we have been looking for. They paid him millions, gave him a new car and offered him a house. You can choose to stay here or we can buy a permanent place for you. They told him. Tony couldn't believe it, but he didn't rush. This time, he told himself he would make better financial decisions. No more leaving things to chance. One day, Emeka was driving through Ikeja when he saw Jane and Gabriel walking into a hospital. They were carrying food flasks and crying. Hey, Jane! Gabriel! Come. What's wrong? They looked up shocked. Good afternoon, Uncle Emeka. It's her mom. She's in the hospital. She has cancer. Emeka's heart broke. Have you told your dad? They shook their heads. Emeka gave them Tony's number. Call him. He's your father. He needs to know. That night, Tony's phone rang. He picked. Daddy, it was Jane's voice. Mommy is very sick. She has cancer. She's in the hospital. What? I will send you the address if you would like to come. Tony didn't say much. He dropped everything and went straight to the hospital. When he entered the hospital room, he saw Lillian lying on the bed. Her head was shaven, her skin looked pale, but when she saw Tony, tears filled her eyes. Tony, I'm so sorry. You came. Tony nodded and sat beside her. Lillian, I made a vow to God, for better or worse. I'm still your husband. Lillian broke down crying. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I treated you badly. I pushed you away. I thought I was right. I let my past and people like Madam Ngozi confuse me. I'm so sorry. Tony held her hand and said nothing. The doctor met Tony outside and told him, I'm sorry, Mr. Tony, but she doesn't have much time. Maybe a few weeks. So please, make every moment count. Tony moved fast. He got someone to manage Lillian's fashion business. He also moved the kids to his new house. Lillian was shocked when he told her, You have a new house? Tony smiled. Yes, God showed me mercy and now I want to help you rest. No more stress. You remember that proposal I told you about over a few months ago? I think it's almost a year now. Yes. Emeka helped me to rewrite the proposal. I submitted it. An oil firm picked it up, loved it, paid me millions of dollars. I got a house and I'm fine now. So don't worry, I'm just going to help you out, okay? She nodded, too weak to speak. The children visited her every day after school. They hugged her, fed her, told her stories, but Lillian was getting weaker. They even tried to reach Madam Ngozi. Calls, messages, everything. But she ignored them. She didn't want to catch their sorrow. One cold morning, Lillian closed her eyes and never opened them again. Her children cried. Tony cried. But they were also at peace. They had made peace with her before she left. She was buried quietly with family and a few friends present. After the funeral, Tony started a foundation, the Lillian Cancer Help Center, to support people going through the same pain. No one should suffer the way my wife did. He said, we can't always prevent the pain, but we can choose to love through it. If you enjoyed this story, please click the next video showing on your screen. And if you would like to start a successful African folktale channel, everything you need to know will be in the description box below. So I'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It is totally free. I'll see you in this video right here. God bless you.